Hello, and welcome to Group Number 2's presentation of our smartphone app project. Our project was to create an app to provide access to email accounts to NJIT students. Using this app, users will be able to log in using their NJIT email credentials to read existing emails and compose new emails. This app will be supported by Android version 7.0, Nougat, and later. This app was developed in Android Studio by multiple group members in parallel. To manage this, the group members used GitHub as a central repository for the codebase. Each developer worked on a feature in a separate branch, and then branches were periodically merged together. Developers coordinated their efforts through Google Hangouts messages and Git commit messages. The app user interface was designed to be simple and easy to use. The layout of each activity is consistent with Android material design guidelines, so that it will feel familiar to an Android user. The color scheme was chosen to match the NJIT school colors. Standard Android icons were used when possible to make their function intuitive to the user. The authentication activity is the first screen the user sees when opening the NJIT Mailbox App. The screen prompts the user to enter their NJIT username and password. Once the user enters their credentials and presses the Sign In button, a connection to the NJIT mail server is established, and they are brought to the email list activity. The email list activity is the main user interface screen of the app. This screen allows the user to view a list of emails currently in their inbox. This activity consists of a toolbar at the top and a scrollable list of emails beneath it. The toolbar displays the app name, NJIT Mail, and an edit icon which opens the compose email activity. When the activity is first loaded, a loading notification with a spinner indicates to the user that the emails are being loaded and that they need to wait. Each email in the list contains the email's from address, the subject, the received date and time, and the checkbox. Unread emails are displayed in bold to indicate to the user that they have not yet seen the content of those emails. Touching an email opens the read email activity for that email. Selecting an email by checking the checkbox shows the delete button in the toolbar, which, when pressed, will delete the selected emails. The compose email activity allows the user to create and send a new email. The screen consists of a toolbar at the top, followed by a to text field, a subject text field, and a body text field. The user can fill out the to, subject, and body fields, and then press the send button on the toolbar to send the email. After sending the email, the compose email activity closes and returns the user to the email list activity. The user can also choose to exit the compose email activity without sending the email by pressing the phone's physical back button or by pressing the back button on the toolbar. The read email activity displays an email to the user. The top of the screen contains a toolbar with buttons to delete the email, reply to the email, and to forward the email, as well as a back button to navigate back to the email list activity. Below the toolbar, the email subject, from address, date and time received, and the email body are displayed. HTML email bodies are rendered in a web view so that the images, text, links, and other content are displayed properly. The functionality behind the activities was encapsulated into separate modules that we refer to as the core API. This collection of classes performs the heavy lifting for authentication with the mail server, generating the email list, retrieving email contents and passing the contents to a user interface for viewing, composing and sending new emails, and deleting emails. Separating this functionality from the user interface made developing in parallel easier. as multiple developers could work on the user interface and the core API simultaneously without conflicts. This slide shows the flow that the user will follow when using the app. When the app is first loaded, the user is brought to the login screen. Once they log in, their credentials are saved for future use. Once authenticated with the server, their emails are retrieved and displayed as a list. If the user touches an email in the list, they will view the content of that email. From the content view, they can choose to perform actions on that specific email. From the email list, the user can also select multiple emails and delete them as a batch, or go to the Compose email view. Once in the Compose email view, the user can either send the email or return back to the email list. At any time, the user can exit the app by pressing the physical home button. Working on this app has introduced us to many valuable skills in Android app development. We learned how to build, deploy, and debug Android applications using Android Studio. We also gained valuable experience in working on a programming project as a team, each contributing to different parts of the application and merging our efforts together into a single cohesive application. These skills and more will surely carry over to future projects that we encounter. While developing this app, we referenced the Android Developer's Guide and the Android Material Design Guidelines. The screenshots seen in this presentation were generated using the Android Device Art Generator. Thanks for listening.